welcome to the NFL moment?
My welcome to the NFL moment?
Do you have one? We ask all the players.
Yeah.
What's your welcome to the NFL moment as a player?
Yeah, like where you got your ass kicked for the first time? Yeah. So I got one, actually.
All right.
So, I came in and my first real full season was 2000, and we made the playoffs, and then we went to the championship game in 2001. Went to the championship game in 2002. In 2001, we lost to St. Louis. St. Louis was the greatest show on turf. Like, we played really well. Troy Vincent got hurt during the week. Buck got hurt at the end of the first half. He was doing really well. We lost the game, probably to a better team. Next year, it was the last game at the Vet. We played Tampa. We come out, and Donovan got hurt, missed a bunch of games that year. We come out, and Brian Mitchell returns the opening kick like 50 yards. Next play, Deuce takes it like 50 to the house. The whole stadium's shaking. Like, I can feel it in the press box. And then we end up losing 14-7. Joe Jervis just takes like a 77-yard slant to the house, and Rondé Barber picks one off for 6, and we lose. And the next year, we play Carolina at home in the championship game. Donovan gets hurt. He punctures a rib like in the first quarter. Coy Detmer comes in. We lose to Carolina. So the next year, we signed T.O., we signed Javon Curse. We go to the Super Bowl. We lose in the Super Bowl. And then the next year, coming back, after losing, there was an issue with T.O. You probably heard about it.
I've heard.
Heard
some rumors.
And it was awful that year. We ended up 5-11, and just bad year. Donovan got hurt, T.O. suspended. And so Andy basically says, hey, listen, everyone's tired. Everyone's freaking exhausted. Like, let's take 2 weeks and, we'll reconvene. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the team. The offseason was a little longer than it is now. At the time, I was traveling a little bit on the road, and I had I was like, all right, I'm going to go to South Florida and go to Miami for a couple of days and get some sun on my face. And I get upgraded. So I'm like, man, maybe things are turning a little bit. And so, I get on the plane, and the pilot comes on. He's like, we're just waiting for one passenger, and then we'll be on our way to Miami. And I realized the seat in front of me is open, so the passenger we're probably waiting for is the person that's going to sit in front of me. And as they're about to close the doors, T.O. walks on the plane.
Oh my God.
And and so T.O. walks over, he looks at me, and I'm kind of was in the middle of that, dealing with that, which is a whole different story for a different day, great story. And he kind of looks at me, nods his head, he takes his seat, and he jacks it into my lap for the 2.5 hours, and he gets off the seat. I was like, have a good trip to Miami. And he was like, fuck you, and I was like, okay, so it's not all going to be championship games and Super Bowls. Right. And I think that was my first moment where I realized, what we had done was unusual, and it was hard to get to. And great player, but it was definitely welcome to the NFL. It's not going to be so easy. And then, I got welcomed again because I think for all of us, Andy was he was like family, and we were all so close to him, and we took those relationships for granted. And then when Chip came in, I didn't really think about how long those had taken to develop and how I took that for granted, and obviously didn't have that relationship with him. And so, for me, after we go 10-6 and 10-6, and I always thought, hey, not that that's the standard, but not terrible, and I basically lost my job from that. And so it was like, there's probably more to it than just that. And I think being vulnerable in the NFL is a good thing. I think the fact that I feel like the relationships that we have, I think that's one of the best things about this job, obviously winning, but it's people say to me you probably keep two guys a little too long. And it's like, if that's the worst thing that I'm doing, I'll be all right with that.